Okay, hello guys. Today we have a very intense video. You know, it's been leading up to this. So, welcome to the Literal TV Debate Club, right? So, today we have 6 young bucks hoping to make it up in the debate world. They're going to do 6 2v2 debates in mixed teams. Yes, I said debates. And the people who have the most points at the end of those 6 debates will do a 1v1 matchup for the final debate win and winner of the video. So, points, how they're going to work. The winner of each debate, I said debate again for no reason, decided by me, will get a point, the pair, and then the MVP of the debate, which they might have lost the debate, or they might have been on the winning team and get 2 points, they're going to get a bonus as well. So MVP gets a point. So we'll do intros. You guys can do a little intro, explain what you're passionate about and what you're excited to do today. So we'll start off with Tyler.
Let me open up the show. Hi, my name is Tyler or Cardi or Slater's Ashtray or whatever name you know me by. I'm really passionate about what I love. I'm really passionate about what I do. I'm really passionate about the things that I like. I'm really passionate about debating. And I'm here to debate things that I'm passionate about, which are things that I like and that I'm passionate about because I care a lot.
Yeah, alright. Didn't need the life story. Alright, going over to Noel. Alright.
Oh, once again, I don't need no introduction. Like, again, it's about us in the game. And I don't really have any other passions aside from my passion being keeping my foot on you bitches' necks. And that's exactly what I'm about to do this entire debate, honestly. Like, so just be buckled up, all you bitches.
Yeah, the slipping up on your words was very badass, Noel. Alright, over to Nikki.
I'm Nikki once again. I've been on the last 5 videos because I'm such a fan favorite. I'm really passionate about Real Housewives.
Yeah, it's a good one. Alright, over to Al.
And not a ton. And the little mini-sized bottles of Fireball they sell at the liquor store where they cash out.
Not the only balls you like. Alright.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm basically passionate about anything and everything, and I'm not afraid of saying what's on my mind.
Alright. Fuck the liberals, Alex says. Alright, over to Uni.
Oh no, I have the screw in my mouth.
What?
What are you? Stop messing with that computer.
Uni, just
Anyway,
fuck the screw, fuck the computer. Just this is like.
I guess you could say screw it.
Oh my god.
We'll take that as Uni's intro. It's fine.
Alright. What's up? I'm Aster. I have barely been in Literal for 6 months. I'm like a newborn here. But, you know what? I am passionate about Big Brother, obviously. And, I will be hopefully debating my heart out, you know?
I just want to say, Tyler, why did you have to ramble so long and make everyone else think, right? Yeah, we need a long intro. We could have just done, hey, I'm Tyler, I'm passionate about my gay rights.
Okay. Oh, I feel like
We're trying to make interesting YouTube content for your channel.
Frankly, right? We'll just get into it. Right. So, to start off, we're doing Noel and Tyler versus Nikki and Uni. Alright.
You just screwed me
Let's
over.
go, Uni. Let's
Now,
go.
I do want to actually give you the option. Who wants to be for whatever this statement is?
Before Uni, let's before.
Alright.
Let's go for it.
Alright.
Let's go for
Nikki
it.
and Uni are for, meaning Tyler and Noel are against. So, it should be illegal to pop chip bags in public. And by that, I mean the bags that hold popcorn, chips, anything, the ones that pop because they have air in. Alright. Go when you're ready.
People should be free to express themselves. I mean, people should be free to, pop the bag.
Before it's illegal.
and I thank you.
No, wait. Let Nikki and Uni will do an opening statement, then we'll open to rebuttals.
Maybe start. I'm so confused. We're fighting that it should be illegal or that it should be
It should be illegal. You're thinking it should be illegal.
Yeah, Uni, so don't say express yourselves. We're against that.
Oh, I was saying my opinion. My bad.
Opening
And I
statement.
thank you. And I thank you. Noel, we just won.
No. Okay, Uni, I'll start. I'll do
Wait,
opening remarks.
start over.
No,
Start
this is
over.
being
Okay.
noted down. This is being noted down.
You're in the street. You're in a playground. You're walking. What do you hear? Pop, pop, pop. That fucking bitches opening their bag of chips in public because they can't wait till they get home. Okay, then what do you hear after that? Munch, munch, chew, chew, chew. Probably some loud ass swallowing too because they're fat. Nobody wants to hear that. It should be illegal.
Exactly.
To preserve the peace of a public place. Uni, what do you have to say?
Chip bags or shit bags? I heard
Chip.
chip bags.
Chip.
Okay.
So, I first want to thank you for your opening statement. You gave us a lot to think on. But what I do have to say is that in public spaces, the least of my worries is hearing people chew on some food. In fact, I'm more annoyed if they're chewing on gum. There are things in the public that, might I add, you could be hearing a gun shooting. You could be hearing construction. You could be hearing a woman giving birth in the middle of the street. There are bigger worries than somebody eating a bag of chips or some popcorn. And what do we have in today? We have technology. You have earbuds. You have AirPods you could put in your comfy little ears and put on your sweet little tunes. Are we considering a public place? Are movie theaters now illegal to have popcorn in? I think that's ridiculous because the movie theaters is a public place. No, I believe it is. And that's all I have to say when it comes to my thoughts on your opening statement and what I have to bring to the table. My partner Noelle will take over now.
Definitely feel as though making shit like that illegal, kind of a bit of like an overreach in lawmaking, and it just like causes like a really minor inconvenience for shit that doesn't really need to be criminalized. And I really feel like our government should just focus more on making real public concerns illegal rather than making pop chip bags fucking illegal to pop in public. Like what Travis said, put some fucking earplugs in or go somewhere else. Thank you.
So, Cardi, you mentioned that you can hear worse things on the street. For example, you said guns or construction. Those are jobs we need to better society. When you hear construction, that's your road getting fixed. That's potholes being filled so your car doesn't break. Okay, when you hear a gunshot, that's a gang getting paid for money that they need to feed their family, okay? You also mentioned giving birth. That's the biggest miracle of this world. I would so much rather hear a woman giving birth and maybe assist her rather than hear somebody munching on dirty ass chips or popping chips in the street.
Oh, you carried it all. You did good. Hold on.
Alright, well, we can go back to the other side. You don't have to say something.
I'm just gonna say this right now, like at the last bit of Nikki's point, I never said anything about locking other people up.
Oh,
That's
what did
not
you
what
say?
I
You said
said.
we don't
Do
need,
not cut
we
me
should
off.
need more
Do not cut me
inconvenient
off.
laws.
Do not cut me off. Do not cut me off. Let me just
Oh.
continue on. As I said before, like I'm gonna say it again. There is no scientific or health basis for banning popping bags in public. It may startle someone briefly, but it's not dangerous or harmful. Laws should be based on evidence of public harm, not just momentary discomfort. So, like I said again, enforcing such a law would waste law enforcement time and resources better used for serious issues.
You wouldn't rather hear somebody eat? So you would rather hear people starve and die that are already alive than hear them eat. That's what I'm hearing. Because if people are on the streets, they could just be starving, but you don't want to hear them eat. So that's just a little bit weird to me. And then the construction people, you don't want to hear construction, but when there's construction on the street, it limits the streets, causing chances of a car crash, which is not good. So I don't feel like we need to be hearing construction. I don't feel like we need all this construction just to narrow the streets and cause so much harm over not wanting to hear people eat chips. That makes no sense to me.
Alright, order. Order in the court. Order in the court. I'm going to ask both sides, you have one more sentence on you as the team to close this out.
It's a run-on sentence, okay?
We'll say it then.
Chewing chips should be a crime. It disturbs the peace. It is not necessary. You can eat at home. You can wait to eat at home. Every other time you hear, it's gonna be something that you need to hear when you're out there. Probably like chewing on that shit. You don't need to hear it. You can wait to your home. Not everybody can afford headphones. Just put it in your class. That's what it is. Like, if you work here, and not everybody can afford. You just put
It's
it in your
becoming a long
AirPods.
sentence, Nikki. I don't want to start a trend here.
I said it was run-on. I said it was a
Well,
run-on
it's
sentence.
ran on too long, Nikki. It has ran on too long. I'm going to go
Finish, we're done.
back over to the other pair.
That the criminalizing of popping bags in public is an excessive and unnecessary use of illegal power. Addressing a harmless and often accidental behavior, actually, I wanted to mention that. as social norms, packaging design as well, and common courtesy already manage far more effectively than law ever could. And I feel as though enforcing such pointless laws is a waste of resources on our law enforcement. Thank you.
Okay, sounds like ChatGPT was utilized. Okay,
Not
so
really. I actually, we're typing. We have time
Alright.
to type.
I think
Like,
the work is
I
slow.
can show you the notes if
All
you
right.
want. So
all right, I'm gonna say, right, I've made my decision. I am gonna give the win to Tyler and Noel. I think there was especially a lot more camaraderie with that pair, and there was a lot more focus from the other pair on things that weren't relevant, like eating the chips being made illegal. But the MVP is going to be left a secret. Right, going to move on to round number 2. All right, and for the teams, we're going to go with Alex and Tyler and Aster and Uni. All right.
Oh, you got this.
Oh, nugget.
What do you mean? Oh,
All right.
Uni were rivals.
Tyler and Alex will be arguing for. Uni and Aster will be arguing against. Okay. Second
Alright, Uni, we
point
got
is
this.
it's okay to murder someone who likes kids too much. All right. You may begin.
Oh, no.
Starting with the 4.
So, today we are discussing on if certain files should be allowed to be murdered. And here's what I have to say. They have no respect for the law in general. They prey on the young and the innocent. And we're already overpopulated in this world. Okay, some people need to be taken out. And I feel like they are a great start. They show the utmost nasty, despicable type of evil that in this world we need to see rid of. This is not something that is forgiven. This is not something to confess about. This is not something that you can gain from. And that is my opening statement. Alex, do you want to add anything?
Yes, I would like to add something. In this scenario, if we're murdering those people, we are A, protecting the kids from these people, and number 2, we're making the world a better place, saying, hey, if you do this, you're gonna get murdered, and and you deserve the consequences for your actions.
I would like to preface that me and my partner, we're not pedophiles and we don't agree with pedophiles. It is bad to like kids. But I would like to say that murder shouldn't be the answer for everything. And how are they learning the lesson if they're dead? How are they getting taught that liking kids is wrong if they're dead? You need to let them suffer in prison, not kill them. I don't think you should just kill someone. An eye for an eye, like Gandhi said, only makes the world blind. So if you're killing someone for doing a punishment, how they're supposed to learn and be better members of society from it? Isn't that what's it about, growing? Don't you believe in second I don't think but don't you believe in second chances?
There is already
Like,
legislature in place for situations like this. Murder, no matter how you slice it, is murder. You're killing someone. You're taking away someone's life. Think about how their family would feel. I mean, like, yes, they definitely have done wrong in their time. However, the reason why prisons exist is for legislature like that. And on top of that, even if you were to say that it is right to do this, it is still murder no matter how you slice it.
Uni, you said, and I quote here, that what are we teaching these, people when we murder them? What we are teaching them is basically, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You decided to do that, okay, now you suffer the consequences, which in this case is murder. And before you end, as well after, yes, I understand that prison can teach them, but also, this is going to make them more uncomfortable, and I feel like with those people, we need to put them in separate prisons compared to the others.
We absolutely should have a separate prison for people like this.
Hold up, I didn't get my turn.
I didn't get my
I
turn.
still have things on my rebuttal. I would argue that that person has done something worse than murder by taking away a child's innocence and forcing them to live the rest of their life without such, robbing them of the experience of having a happy childhood and forcing them into a situation where they are going to have this traumatic experience affect them for the rest of their life. their sexual life may never be the same again. And I think that it is not something that is just going to be taught out of somebody.
I do want to counter Tyler really quickly. Tyler,
Okay.
I do agree what they have done is absolutely despicable and is unforgivable. However, I think what we meant is not by what we're teaching the prisoners, it's what we're teaching the kids. Do we really want to teach people that it's okay to murder if they've done something wrong? Well, yes, what they've done is unforgivable. However, it's what we pass on to the next and future generations. There's already a legislature in place for stuff like this, and I think if we were to continue to set precedents, as in murdering people who have done something like this, then how will that affect things in future society now that people are not following legislature and not following what we have set in the past? I think it's better to follow what we currently.
Yeah, you don't say you don't hear clock it in many debates, do you? But you know, it's good. I think I've made my decision easily here. I'm going to be honest. I've heard enough, and I think this calls for something special, right? I can't, in my right mind, award this to a whole team because, frankly, both teams had someone who wasn't necessarily helping. So,
What do you mean?
I'm going to award it to Aster and Tyler here. Now, one of you, I believe, did better, and I'm going to give them the MVP point, but that will be secret. Next, we have another round. The people who've just done 2 rounds, you have a round off. We have Aster and Alex versus Nikki and Noel.
Oh, we're so winning.
Okay,
Alright.
Noel, let's go.
Who wants
Let's
to argue
win.
for and who wants to argue against?
Again,
For-
I haven't done
Okay.
an against yet. So.
All right, well,
We can do 4.
Noel,
we can do 4.
yeah. So Noel, Nikki, for this, Katy Perry should be exiled to space forever. All right, Noel and Nikki, 4, begin when ready.
My first point is that upon us exiling Katy Perry, the bitch can finally be the star that she sings about. She already sung about being like an alien, like E.T. and shit, being out of this world. So I feel like us exiling that fat bitch to space will let her live her truth. Release how many like carbon dioxide and shit into the air. I definitely feel as though she was kind of soft launching the idea. So I feel like as a society we should just collectively decide to ship her off because we've kind of had enough of her already.
Carbon dioxide's what plants breathe in, Noel.
I agree. She already went to space for the clout, and she only went for 6 minutes. So let's show her what it's actually like to live in space and have to struggle day in, day out, 0 gravity, okay? Eating that dried up, nasty food, having to shower however the fuck they shower. Like, did you all see those people who were, like, stuck up there for 9 months, how different they looked when they came down? Like, if you want to go up for clout and you're a billionaire and you can pay to go up and you want to come down and flex on us and promote your album that you went up, okay, yeah. Babe, go up then and fucking stay up there and see how it is.
So,
go for it, Alex.
yes, I do agree that what she did was wrong, but
Okay, case closed.
basically- But my opinion is that we should be doing this for first against people that have done even more worse things than Katy Perry has done, because this is going to show the people that, hey, if you do something bad or bad, this is your consequence. Going up to space, and you're gonna have to live with that situation for the rest of your lives.
It's like you said, Nikki, those people who were up in space for 9 months, that was absolutely horrific. Doing that to someone would be a violation of their human rights. She is a person. She is not she's not like something that you can just fling around. She is a person. On top of that, even if her music does suck, I mean, like, I don't really listen to her, but other than that, it is not ethical to even send her to space in the first place as a punishment. It is cruel. It is a violation of her human rights. And if anything, if she does something, we have, like, measures for people who've committed crimes, such as not being able to take a joke. Cancel culture exists for that.
I don't think, you know what, you can commit any crime you want. I think you should go through the normal system. But, like, for the elite, which is also what Asta was talking about, where he was like, there's no record of what she has done. You know, people should be given due process. I do believe people should be given due process, but should celebrities and the elite and the mega powerful be given due process when they're constantly ripping off the working class and growing the economic gap? Should we really be affording these human rights to people who are actively working to remove them from us, from other human people? So should they really be afforded their human rights when they're part of the elite class that is stripping rights from other people?
Let's not just deviate from the point of how we're talking about Katy Perry here. So you talking about other people is completely irrelevant to the conversation. And like what Nikki said, like Katy Perry's done a lot of bad things and that she should be held accountable for. Aster, you obviously did say that no crime obviously warrants her going to space. However, we aren't really exiling her on the premise of her committing a crime. It's to prevent her from the terrible influence and poor choices that she's made, which will have a further impact on our youth. Our youth is today, honestly, I'm just going to say this right now, is the most important people of our life right now. And I feel as though if we have celebrities like Katy Perry who are making poor choices and committing poor acts, such as going into space like for no reason, us, you know, sending her up to space will better our youth in the long run and better our future. I definitely feel like if you don't listen to her music, then you can't really comment. You can't exactly see where we're coming from here. So if you don't listen to her, you really can't exactly argue a point as to how we feel about her music and what kind of influence she has on our youth.
So, Noel, I wanted to counter your point a little bit with me not listening to her music. I don't. That is true. However, I think you should take into account her as a person rather than her music. I think warranting going up to space as exile, as punishment, music should not really be the deciding factor.
Okay, but did you not hear what I just said? That was not the deciding factor, though. Like, we literally said way more other points aside from her music. Her music is just a small portion of what we wanted to send her up to space for. So
then why bring it up as a main point in your past argument?
It's not a main bit though. Like
you're just saying that you don't really know her, and you also said she has no heinous crimes. It's like, well, she worked with a known Hollywood abuser, further empowering him to move his career forward in Hollywood. I wasn't Dr. Luke cancel cultured. Why was she able to make an album with him?
I do want to bring up your point, Nikki, about how you were talking about her having punishment and her being part of the wealthy elite. Let's treat her as a normal citizen. Have her give due process and let her be treated as a normal citizen going through that due process and not give her any elite stature. We have to make sure that she gets her basic human rights. And human rights does not involve exiling someone to space.
Our point is that it's specifically about Katy Perry because she specifically is the one who went to space to glow in her face. And she's part of her power rich. Yes, people murder. Yes, people kill. Those people are everyday normal citizens who should be going to court. This is specifically about Katy Perry.
Order. Alright. Guys, I feel like we're getting to repeating points now, so we'll get into the results. Congratulations to Nikki and Noel.
Yeah.
I think there was some intensity there, but very intense debate. And we're moving on to debate number 4. Alright, we have Tyler and Uni versus
Nikki,
Noel and Asta. Alright.
Hey, why do I not get to go again?
You're gonna get the same amount as everyone else, woman. God.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, Noel and Asta are 4. Alright. Noel and Asta, you are 4. Things were better before the internet. Begin when ready.
Like the things at the top of my head. Like the first one being like life is a lot more simpler and less distracted. Like people are definitely more present with more deeper face-to-face interactions and like a lot more fewer like digital interruptions. Like for example, you can walk into a room with people and like back then if there was no internet, there was no phone, there was no TikTok, like people will be able to actually talk to people in the room. There's no doom scrolling, there's no anxiety like checking your phone from now time to time, and just uninterrupted peace and personal space.
There was a lot more human connection. There was more genuine human connection. People were face-to-face before the internet. They didn't have to make phone calls. They actually were genuinely connecting. And on top of this, the internet has a lot of false information, and a lot of this stems from people not trusting each other because they're not ever really connecting. So with all of this false information, this leads to a lot of mass paranoia, and that leads to downfall in our society. On top of this, we had healthier attention spans because now we have the attention span of a goldfish. I think the average human attention span is about 8 seconds now. Not ideal.
Yes, and I've already discussed this with my partner. I would like to go first. In the opening statement, before I start any rebuttals, I just want to say that I'm against this idea that life was better before the internet because we were much more closed-minded. You didn't get to really hear other people's stories besides people in your area. You get to now talk to people all around the world. You get to hear different experiences, how it's like in America in different areas. It opens up more minds and opens up more views to what is out there and more stories, and we're more conscious in that. We are more conscious of what could be right and wrong, and just it also opens the chances for more opportunities for jobs. There's more opportunities for remote jobs. There's opportunities to go on to be an influencer. There's to become these really good paid jobs.
Exactly. And was finger pitching in like the air instead of like say clock it instead of saying clock it. But anyways, I'll get into the talk. I actually wait, we're against, right? We're against. Yeah. Because I was about to say I agree. My bad. Yeah. Life. We need the internet. Oh, my bad. Okay. Okay, let me start. Okay. My team obviously thinks that the internet has changed our lives for the better. I'm pretty sure like most of us are in school and people use their computers to take notes. I'm pretty sure that I'm the only one in this VC who use handwritten notes, and I've heard many times people say that's tedious and it takes longer. So the internet saves you from having to write the essays. And I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they had mass paranoia that everybody was becoming communist, and they started not executing, but basically blacklisting any celebrities or politicians because they had mass paranoia that they were communists. And so mass paranoia doesn't stem just from the internet.
Back to the fours.
All right, I just wanted to say, I'm gonna start with the first point. How, first of all, Cardi, you started off as saying how we were a lot more closed-minded before the internet. I just definitely want to say that the internet obviously didn't make some people open-minded. Like, I definitely feel like people are so closed-minded today. And I feel like the internet has now given these closed-minded people a platform, and we're seeing that a lot in TikTok comments. Like, for example, like, comments like black fatigue and shit like that is now of trending. Like, being racist, like, don't never mix. People like that are now viral nowadays. And I feel as though people in the past, since internet wasn't as, like, prominent, these type of like thoughts, like they're a lot more like they didn't really spread out. So I feel like the internet giving as although I will agree and say that it has given the internet has given people like the platform to be more open minded. So I definitely feel as though like when it comes to closed minded people, the internet has given them a platform, stuff like that to spread. And I definitely feel like it's kind of annoying.
I wanted to go back to your mass paranoia point. The internet gives a lot of these people the platforms to be able to spread their own agenda and cause the downfall of society. A lot of these people are spreading the agenda, kind of like how we argued earlier with Katy Perry being an influence and not being a great one at that. So how are we going to let the internet is allowing people to spread these horrible thoughts? And this is only just giving more of a stature for these people. The internet is the downfall of society, and if we don't manage it somehow, then it's going to wipe out the human race at some point or another. Exactly. Which is why the world was better before the internet, because all of these points gathered up together make sense. It makes sense why the downfall of humanity will be the internet.
I would like to continue on. I would like to start off first. I would like to finish my first notes, and then I will continue on to your rebuttal statement. There was things such as attention spans being brought up, and while yes, there is media online that are shorter that decreases attention spans, I would argue that there's also media online that increases it and makes it way longer. I mean, there's podcasts and documentaries and longer type of content. So if you go on YouTube, there's plenty of multi-hour videos that a lot of people watch, and that is proven to literally increase attention spans. So it's just on the same coin there. I mean, it can bring down attention spans, but it can also increase it. It just depends on which media you get. But the fact that there is internet means that there is some sort of route for them to take. Yes, what Noel was saying about how there's people online that are still closed-minded and racist, That's true. There's always just going to be closed-minded people on the internet. But now, because there isn't the internet, there is much, much less closed-minded people because those open-minded people feel more comfortable sharing how things are wrong behind a screen, and because it's harder for people to get legal action against them or violence threatened against them because of these closed-minded people. Go ahead,
You
Miss
speak really
Evie.
well. You're very eloquent. And I would
you.
just like to piggyback off my partner. It seems like the
Always.
pro side is like blaming the internet for the downfall of society. The downfall of the society is the evil that's in humans' hearts. The evil that's in men's heart. We had two world wars happen before the internet even existed. Keep in mind that we had a civil war over slavery before the internet even existed.
I'm actually
I
just,
have.
I'm actually doing scrolling while they were talking because. to be
Exactly.
Me too. I was
honest
scrolling on Twitter.
Another
Oh.
thing. Another thing, fans. Who here has rejected going to socialize with other people, and instead stayed home and been online doing who knows what? You probably don't even remember what you were doing online.
Yes, thank you, Aster. I'm just gonna say some quick points because I definitely feel as though like your points were what yet again weak, Tyler. First off, your point on like podcast, we have things like
Very
podcasts.
classy.
We have things like podcasts for attention spans. Okay, that's cool, but then that's once again that's just showing another symptom of like people like having fucked up. That's another symptom of having digital overload. Like also look at Grace Mullane and that Tinder murderer that happened because of the internet too. Let's just talk about that.
We are gonna. Right, guys, I reached a decision. I have reached a decision. Alright, guys. I think there were some good points made on either side. And gave the win to Aster and Noel. But
Yo.
he won't be receiving the MVP point, but I will be giving Tyler an additional points. I think he was in contention for the MVP point. Still, there's some good points made on both sides. There were some weak points made on both sides. By everyone. But I think overall, yeah, it's a very strong debate. Guys, we have. Don't think we've had these teams yet anyway. If we have, I don't particularly care. So,
Can I go with Astro or Cardi?
well, that let me get to it. It's Alex and Uni versus Aster and Nikki. Alright. So
Waited for 4 rounds straight. Hold on.
this is your last round, Aster. This is your last round. Someone had to go
Alright.
4 in a row.
Alright, we got this.
Yeah, can we do
Oh, you know what?
against?
We got
please?
this.
Alright. You wanna do against? Uni and Alex are gonna go first. You are for this point, alright? Okay. The thing you are arguing for is it's okay to cheat on your wife if she is a misogynist. Alright, Alex and Uni, you're starting. You are for.
Fine, I will go. The reason why this is good is because, first off, this is showing that the man is trying to be like, hey, listen, you don't support these type of people? Okay, that's fine. But you can't just be like, oh yeah, I 100% hate these people. Okay, don't respect them, but you don't have to be a misogynist to be that. Also, this really shows the woman's true colors, and it actually shows to the man that, hell, maybe I should never bring a friend or friend that's a girl over because she's just gonna think that that's misogynist. That since she's a misogynist, she's gonna think, oh great, why would you bring her over?
I think it's okay to cheat on your wife if she's a misogynist, because if you cheat on your wife, you're giving love to other women, which your wife isn't doing. And women deserve to be loved. So you're spreading your love in an appropriate way, but you're still spreading love in a good way, and women should be loved more. Even though it's men's mental health month, it should be women's mental health month too. So cheat on your wife and better women's mental health, okay?
Okay, so I'm going to start with saying that kind of rebutting, but also kind of my own points as well. Internalized misogyny, which is the only kind of misogyny you can hold as a woman is a problem of the patriarchy, which is caused by men. Men cheating on women is also caused by the patriarchy. So you're only adding on to the issue that is causing her internalized misogyny. Kind of our opening statement. Your wife not letting girls come over, while that is wrong, that's not an excuse to see them intimately. We're talking about cheating. We're not talking about female friendships. I do agree if your wife is just a jealous woman. I do think it's okay to have female friends. We're talking about full-on penis in vagina or butthole if they're a trans woman sex. Okay, that is wrong. There's no excuse for it. You can't say, well, my wife doesn't let girls come over. My wife is jealous of every girl. Okay, that's something that you and your wife have to work on and go through therapy. The not the excuse. The solution to that is to not then cheat on your wife.
I want to preface this by saying I am not misogynistic. All right. So
Okay.
first off, the man cheating on his wife, that is a violation of the trust that is built on marriages. Marriages are built on trust, loyalty, and communication. And when the guy cheats, he is violating the vows that they made at their wedding. Even if the wife is toxic, it is still a breach of trust and a breach of ethics on the man. And once again, it is not about who he is cheating on. It's full of cheating in the first place. Are you really tone? They have kids. Are you really going to set the tone that
We are
on
losing
your
Aster
partner?
here.
What are you? Imagine they have children. What kind of tone are you going to set for them? That it's okay to cheat on their partner? It's not about who she is. It's about the foundation. It's about the beliefs. It's about the ethics of cheating in the first place. Because it'll create harmful patterns. It can be used to validate her negative perceptions of men in the first place, and it can further make her more misogynistic as time goes on.
But what about the ethics of hurting other women? If you're a misogynist, you're putting other people down. What about the ethics of that? Don't they have feelings too? Exactly. If you're putting other people down, you deserve to be cheated on. You deserve to be hurted too. Because being misogynist is not a good thing. We're not going to ignore that part of the equation. If you're a misogynist,
No, we're not.
Exactly. So, how would you like if somebody was misogynistic to you? What are you?
That's not really. Okay.
My bad. But also, back to Nikki. How do we know if he's effing the other woman to cheat on them? Like, we don't know. There's other ways of cheating, like emotional cheating, or just like hugging them. I don't know. There's other ways you can consider cheating. He could be sending them good morning texts to brighten up their day. I support that. Support uplifting people, and it doesn't seem like the other side does. So I think we should cheat. We should all cheat, and we should all be misogynist. Boom.
Oh. Wait, just before we go back, Alex, any points?
Yes, I was about to say the same exact point that you just said beforehand, and that is really just that. How do, like, if the wife thinks, oh, the husband's always cheating, how would she really know if he's cheating or not? Because first off, that's going to show that she has little trust in the guy, and that she just doesn't like him ever having girls that are friends, no matter what.
Right. My first point, I just want to go back to what Uni said. We should all be misogynistic. What? Okay.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that there are better alternatives than just simply cheating. Because if the man is cheating, it means that he definitely is not happy in the relationship. So what he could do is he could simply separate from her, divorce her. He could leave the relationship, protect his own well-being without causing further harm to another person. Like it or not, they're in a relationship, and so they have to commit to that. They committed to that, and if they're non-committal, they can find other alternatives than breaking the trust and bond that they had built with each other in the first place. Even if she is a misogynist, they are two separate people. Their beliefs don't have to match up.
Yeah, kind of building off of what Aster said, there's other solutions than cheating. Cheating on a misogynistic wife. Okay, she's not being hurt. You think she deserves it? Okay, because she's hating other women. She's not getting her karma by another woman. Her karma is coming to her by a man. Okay.
Well,
One word. Preach.
we will wrap it there. I think I do have a firm decision. I was leaning towards possibly giving a little cheeky bonus point for some arguments being made by a certain person until she said everyone should all be misogynistic. So the win does go to Asta and Nikki.
Nuggets.
Yo.
But you know, you were doing good there for a bit, Uni. Alex, keep up the good work. You have another round in you. All
I
right,
don't try.
it's time
Don't unmute.
for Alex and Noel versus Tyler and Nikki.
Okay, let's go, Cardi. Let's go.
All right.
Eh?
For this round, Alex and Noel, you were for this. Right, you're arguing. Every man should own a Batman suit. Alright, Alex and Noel, you
I'm
may
walking.
begin for.
I'm walking.
What? Why?
Because what the fuck? No man should own a Batman suit. The fuck?
Well,
Okay.
Alex then.
Debate over. Debate
Alex,
over.
no. Alex has to 2v1. Can Alex win a 2v1?
I'm joking. I'm joking, Alex. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't mean that.
And I also question this, Noel. So
No, you
so I'm
shouldn't
with
question. Alex, I think you need to. Do you want to make a point or are you guys just DQing?
No, we'll make a point. Alex, go.
Yeah, we'll make a point. Okay, fine, I'll go. The reason why a Batman suit is good is because, like, first off, like, it's really going to remind you a lot about, like, your childhood. If you remember you loved Batman, like, as a kid, it will give you that, like, those, like, very good memories every time you see that suit and you wear it. You will remember, like, when you were a kid and when you really enjoyed it. So it might help you, like understand, okay, so, like, this...
Okay, so as my partner seems to be struggling to like make up his point, I'm just gonna go ahead and add on to what he was saying about how every man should have a Batman suit. I definitely feel like a Batman suit's like a really good essential for like a costume wearing. Definitely feel like it's like a well-made suit. It's like having a Batman suit like draws attention, opens doors. I know both of my opponents, Nikki and Cardi, are like really huge attention seekers. So I definitely feel like them owning a Batman suit will definitely like add to like their personalities. Very bold and garish personalities that want to like draw attention, because who doesn't want a Batman suit?
Okay, I would like to say, first of all, I just think owning a this is kind of like our opening statements, and then I'll get into some rebuttals.
Yeah, you
I
can
think
get into
having a
rebuttals as
Batman-
well, but yeah.
Yeah, I think owning a Batman suit just lowers your sex appeal. It is cringe. People who own Batman suits, I think, view themselves very highly when they're usually not very high value men. And I think it just adds a cringe because of how they perceive themselves versus how other people perceive them. Batman also represents vigilante justice, and I don't think we should be promoting vigilante justice. Batman's whole thing is that he was wronged by some criminals, and he takes it into his own hands. I don't think that's something we should be promoting because we have a legal system. Now, Alex, you said that people should be dressing up like Batman because it brings them a sense of nostalgia. Everyone should have it. The question is not should some man have a Batman suit. The question is should every single man. Not every single man is going to have a connection to Batman. You know, what about people who weren't into DC? What about gays? What about, you know, anything? Not everybody's going to have a connection, so that's not a reason that every single man should have a Batman suit. Other superheroes actually have powers. Batman has no powers. His whole thing is that he's a rich billionaire with privilege, and he uses that privilege to punish poor criminals who are just trying to make ends meet at the end of the day.
I did want to start with some of the opening things I wanted to talk about because I do have an issue with every single man wearing a Batman suit. First off, that came to mind, dystopian. Dystopian AF, because I won't use profanity in the court, but that is, it just promotes a dystopian society. It promotes lack of creativity. It creates a lack of style. And to force every man to have a Batman suit, regardless of if they have to wear it every day or not, it's one step closer to becoming a dystopian society, which is not an ideal for a majority of people and not something we should be striving for. Something else that I wanted to point out is, I don't know if y'all saw, but there was an epidemic of men sexualizing themselves in Spider-Man suits, and I feel like forcing all men to have this Batman suit is the same thing. So are we promoting the objectification of men now? We all know that objectifying women is not correct, even though very common. It also means that on the other side of the coin, we should not be objectifying men as well. It should not be a normalized thing and a mandated thing at that to force them into these Batman suits when they've already been sexualized in Spider-Man suits. It's just another step towards just a very toned up situation.
First of all, I just want to kind of add, we'll just start from like the top to the bottom. So I've just been taking points and just like having rebuttals and stuff. So Nikki, your first point is how owning a Batman suit kind of lowers sex appeal and is cringy. First of all, you eat it. Second of all, confidence is really appeal, and nothing really screams confidence than wearing a Kevlar and a cape. So let's just start that there. Second of all, you want to talk about how it represents "quote unquote" vigilante justice. Didn't you argue to send Katy Perry to the world for world peace? So let's not even talk
Bring
about
up
like
past rounds. Bring up past rounds.
Relevant. That was a past case.
This is a different debate, Dave. I was forced to argue
That was a mandated debate. Objection relevant.
Don't get smacked in your mouth for over.
Whoa! Order!
Objection.
I know
Assault
you
and
want to
battery in the
smack
court.
something on my mouth, Noel, but it's not gonna happen.
I don't want to stick anything in your mouth, honestly, aside from Travis. First of all,
Real hero, Batman.
before we get personal, like gosh, like. Let me just say this right now. Let me continue with my points before I get interrupted by these two gays right now. Not every man should have a Batman suit. What about gays? That's your point, right? Who said that? Nikki, right?
I did say that, yeah. I said gays and men.
Hold on. I'm not finished.
Hero.
So what about the gays? Like, Batman suits are for anybody with trauma or fashion risk elements. And I will terribly say that, like, gay men are kind of, like, match up to that. And then as well, like, both of your points were saying how not every attention is, like, good attention, which is, I guess, true. But obviously, again, walking around unnoticed in 2025 is probably a bigger red flag in itself anyway. I feel like it's a year to step out. Definitely feel like it's about making a statement. And I definitely feel like you want to talk about how the Black Man suit is bland. He's a bland superhero. He has no superpowers. I feel like him having no superpowers kind of gives men a platform to pretty much make up their own storylines.
That was never like we were never trying
Exactly.
to say like, hey,
We're never
yeah,
thinking about
Batman suit is here just for us accessibility. It's never was supposed to be that.
Right.
It
I
was
want to
just
ask you.
supposed to be
A
like,
question. Travis, how do you feel about your girlfriend talking about sex appeal on a
Irrelevant.
non-sexual
He's the
question?
judge. He
All
can't
right.
talk about
All right.
that.
We're gonna go over to the other side
Objection
now.
relevant.
Order.
Objection
Order.
relevant.
We're gonna go over to
Travis
the other
doesn't
side
need
to
a
end the
Batman
debate.
suit to
Okay,
have
well,
sex
I'm gonna ask
appeal.
you this
He just has
question.
that naturally.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you guys this question: why on earth is sex appeal being brought in this equation of this question when sex appeal has nothing to do with it? You want to talk about
Okay.
objectifying men, but why
Okay,
is
then
that
we'll
the first
answer.
thing on
Cardi,
your
I know you
mind?
wanted to
Why
start.
is that the first thing on your
I
mind?
just want to add one quick sentence because that was my beginning argument. I was just saying that obviously every single person wants to attract the opposite sex.
No,
Or sorry,
no,
the
not
same sex, if that's what you're into.
or not
So
our
everybody wants to attract a person.
No,
I was just saying that the suits don't add to that. Sorry,
but
Cardi, you
actually
can
not. But
If you're gonna tell me to brush up on my reading skills, you should probably brush up on your listening skills because I never said anything about they were forced to wear it. The only time that I talked about
Yes, you
wearing
did.
it was, actually, let me finish. The only time I talked about wearing it was specifically when Alex stated that if you were to wear it at a club, that you would be standing out, and I said disagree because if you go to a club and everybody has a Batman suit, they're probably all going to be in a Batman suit, and not everybody wants to be a tourist attraction when going to a bar. So it might actually make them stand out by wearing normal, or what we perceive as normal clothes, at a bar. You also have to consider that men grow, so they're going to have to buy it constantly throughout their life. It's going to be a size up. It's not like you buy it and then the police come and check, hey, do you have a Batman suit? I hold this little infant-ass suit. And they're going to be like, oh, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna ask for order in the court. I'm gonna ask for order in the court.
I have another closing statement.
Nikki, mate, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty obvious who's won. We can just do it.
Okay. Well, as long as it's me and Cardi, then I can end.
Yeah, I think there was. We asked in the court for grace and decorum. I don't think we received grace and decorum, but the win is going to Nikki and Tyler. But,
Thank you. Thank you.
Period.
but guys, that's not the end.
Really quick. Everyone's seen me and Batman in the same room.
So, alright. Let's get into the scores. First up, in 6th place, tied both with 0 points, Alex and
Ouch.
Uni. You guys didn't score anything today, but you know, maybe next video, maybe we'll do something more up your alley. You know,
Oh, Nugget's not even 1 point.
you know, you could have like a phantom point, if you know, you know.
Like a 0.5, like a 0.5 participation trophy.
No, we don't do those here on Literal
I feel like she
TV.
deserved. I feel like she deserved a little bonus.
Yeah,
for
how
the
did Uni
internet.
get no points?
Alex
Uni,
didn't.
Uni carried some of them.
People in this call, and I definitely feel like it needs to be called out.
Has taught debate.
Guys, this
Okay,
isn't a
but it's not about who
debate.
did better.
Debater.
No,
This isn't a
She
debate.
asked about participation, and I feel like everybody equally participated. We all had equal amounts, so therefore, we
Yes,
should all-
I'm not saying she should get a point for participation.
Oh
I'm
my
saying Uni
God.
should have gotten a
That's
point
what we're
for
talking
doing
about.
well, because she
Well,
did
that's
do
what-
well.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about
Order, right.
Okay, let's move on to the
Back
next
to the
person.
points. Not even Uni gives this much.
in
of a
it.
fuck. Right. In 4th place, with 3 points, Noel,
And Noel's pissed.
which leaves
Whoa.
us with Asta, Nikki, and Tyler.
I'm
Wow.
shocked. Wow. Okay.
In 3rd place, you know what? No, we'll go in 1st place now. In 1st place, with 7 points, Tyler, congratulations. You'll be moving on to the top 2 lip sync.
Yes. Oh my God, I'd like to thank the Academy.
All right, you'll be moving on to the top 2. But who will you be facing? Well, Astra and Nikki were separated by 1 point. One got 5, one got 4.
Oh
But
my god, Esther.
in 2nd place with 5 points is Asta, which means Asta and Tyler
Wow.
will face off.
What the hell?
Right.
I only
let's
lost once.
see who's mad now.
Yeah, but you only got one MVP point.
Fine.
All right.
I'm kind of scared to go against Tyler now.
I mean, Astra and Tyler. I will say, Tyler will get to choose as the leader for or against, but you won't know what the point is until after. So, Tyler, for this top 2, do you want to go for or
well-
against?
I would rather go. I'd rather go against.
All right, Tyler will go against. And also, guys, who left?
Uni
Was it-
left.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Uni.
If you guys wish to stay, this round will be a vote for who won in this debate. I will also have a vote in case there's a disagreement, but there shouldn't be a tie if there's 3 people voting. So, Asta, this is what you are for.
All right. Let's hear it.
Gay weddings should be free during Pride Month. Gay weddings should be free during Pride Month. Asta, you are for.
Oh,
Get ready.
I left. All right. Tyler, good luck. Good luck to you, man.
Oh.
I'm kind of scared. All right, here we go. All right. Gay weddings should be free during Pride Month. First off, let's talk about Pride Month in the first place. It was created because of a riot. Pride Month was created because of the Stonewall riots and gay rights not being really existing in the first place. So Pride Month, we've now established, is something that needs to happen because of the prejudice and oppression that has already happened against gay people and queer people in the first place. Now, people are trying to take away gay rights and gay weddings in today's society. Now, with gay pride existing, I think that gay weddings should be free during Pride Month, as it expands further gay rights and really hits up the movement for civil rights that people are trying to take away nowadays.
All right, over to Tyler now.
Okay. Hold up. I'm finishing my little note real quick. Oh, should gay weddings be free during Pride Month? I disagree with this point. I do think that gay weddings should be celebrated and allowed. I know that there are people trying to take it away, and it should be promoted. However, to make it completely free, who is going to pay for all these weddings? Weddings are expensive. It's an expensive thing to plan. It's an expensive thing to do. Who is the person that is making them married? That I cannot think of the title at this moment, but it doesn't make my point any less clear. Are they getting paid for this, or do they have to just do a little freebie? I think that they should be allowed to celebrate it, but to freeload an entire wedding is just not the correct thing to do. That's my case.
I do agree that weddings are expensive, and the thing is that the fact that people that are oppressed and from marginalized people, why should the getting married during Pride Month actually have to pay for these things? Another thing, I think that corporate companies that promote quote unquote allyship during Pride Month that have no substance should actually have substance and potentially pay for these, because they always slap on some sort of rainbow campaign without taking any meaningful action. They should have some sort of concrete and valuable asset to Pride Month. And so that's why I think that they should probably be the ones paying for free weddings during Pride Month.
I do want to rebuttal that by saying that yes, these people are oppressed. Yes, these people are facing a lot of adversary and hate. However, it's still them getting married. It is still them actively choosing to celebrate their love and have an official certificate on it. It is still going to be needing to be money out of their pocket because it is their celebration. A company does not owe them this celebration just because, you know, they want to celebrate Pride. I think that these companies that are scummy and weird, I think that they should be promoting Pride weddings. I think that's what they should be doing. I think they should be opening up events for Pride weddings to be celebrated and more open. But to completely pay for it is just completely ridiculous. We already have Pride parades where people could celebrate being Pride and celebrate their overcomings of years and years of oppression without needing to pay. So it's like, you know, there's opportunities to celebrate such, but to get married, that is something that is going to benefit, obviously, you when it comes onto your taxes, when it comes to insurance and all of that. So to get it just for free is completely, it's just ridiculous. And I'll send it back to you.
I do want to say, yes, there are opportunities for queer pride, such as pride parades. But do we really think that's enough? Because, once again, in today's society, people are still trying to take away queer rights. And so I think there should be more opportunities to be able to have more pride. We should force them, because otherwise they're not going to try to give up their money, they're not going to give up their power for something as, quote-unquote, little as queer pride.
It still benefits them to promote, but you know, it doesn't take as much damage to both sides and gives people that are, you know, in the LGBT just like free chances, like free what was I gonna say, like free advances on like their taxes and like more benefits, because then it just like supports so many unlavender marriages, if that's a thing. Because then this just opens the opportunity for people to get fake married, which is illegal. You're not supposed to be getting fake married, and now people are just going to pretend to be gay because it's a free wedding. We just open this opportunity for people to just freely go in there and be like, hey, you know, we're gay, it's June, marry us. And you have to pay for it too, actually. You don't even know us. So good luck with that. You don't want to have to do that. I think that you should earn the right by getting your marriage because you worked hard to get the money and you worked hard in your relationship to certify that you want to be with this person for the rest of your fucking life, and you earned it, and you didn't need no freebie to tell you, hey, just take it.
I'm going to ask that Uni, Noel, Nikki and Alex all DM me your votes. Who won the final debate on if gay marriage should be free during Pride Month? So send me those votes. Okay, so I have the winner by a vote of 2-1. Because Alex is asleep, I guess.
No, I'm here. I just took a shower.
You took a shower? Why? Okay, whatever. Congratulations to with 2 votes. Congratulations to Tyler. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Tyler. Woo! Woo!
I think fully deserved.
In July,
It's
of
giving
course.
break.
This is definitely filmed in July, so happy Asian History Month. And congratulations,
break.
Tyler. You got the votes of Nikki and Uni. So
Yeah, because I think it's giving rigged. Like,
I'm just going by
I
the
feel like
votes.
there's a lot of
I'm going by
there's
the
a lot of
votes.
favorites. No, I'm not from your end, Travis. I know you're a good host for once.
I didn't.
I feel like
just
there's
didn't.
a lot of I feel like there was a
I
lot of
think-
favoritism on Nikki and Cardi's end. Not Cardi's end, Uni's end.
God, why are we fighting during my crowning? Oh my goodness. But I would just like this. It feels so nice. It feels so correct. You know, I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this court. I went to law school for this literal games. Like, I literally tried so hard. It feels so good to be a 4-time literal winner. Like, it's just so touching for me. Thank you. Especially with the doubts earlier of saying that I was a bad debater. Like, it's just so good to just come back swinging and just take it. So thank you all. Seriously.
Hater.
Alright, guys. Thank you for watching this intense debate. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Someone say, like, subscribe. No one's watching at this point, like 2 hours in, but someone say it.
Hey,
Don't subscribe.
Subscribe, bitches.
Horrible video, rigged and wrong.
Alright.
Third place.
Alright. Bye.
Subscribe to Literal TV so that Travis can do a condom taste test video.